Welcome back, everybody. I'm doing another video continued from my last video with replacing the LCD screen on a touch Lenovo Y5070. I just got in my new bezel and back plate. I have here are the new bezel. This is for the non-touch, the Lenovo bezel, and then the back plate for that bezel. The back plate that's on the touch version doesn't have these 4 screws, so that the LCD can just screw right into that back plate. It's a used back plate, but it's really not bad condition. It's got a tiny little scratch on the back, but you can barely see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and install these and hope everything fits into place. I am not 100% sure if everything's gonna fit. So I'll be learning as with you are. If you want to learn how to take off the screen and replace the LCD on a touch panel or a touch Lenovo Y50, you can go watch my last video and figure out how to do that. Maybe you'll have more success than I did. If you're new to this channel, if this is the first video you're watching, you can watch my last video on what happened trying to replace this LCD. But anyways, the back plate that I ordered already has Wi-Fi cables attached to it, so I don't have to take these off. These can just stay on the back plate. So basically this is what you'll be doing if you want to turn your touch Lenovo into a non-touch. This is basically the same exact process you would do. I don't know why you would go from a touch to a non-touch unless you broke your screen like I did. So if you broke your screen and you don't have the funds to buy another touch screen that's ridiculously high priced, this is what you can do. This is your second alternative. The pricing for all this, the LCD was $77 and the bezel and the back plate were about $60 together. So it's a lot cheaper than buying a whole new LCD and touchpad put together already. That can run you about $200. So this is better. Here's the old bezel. On the back here, you'll notice that it has the touch chip up here. This is where the wire for the camera is going to be hooked onto. So I'm not sure how it's going to be putting the camera back on the other bezel, but for sure we don't need this. So we can just toss this. It's already broken and whatnot, so you can just throw that away. What we got left to do is to take off the main harness cables off of the back plate, along with the hinges. We got to take all the hinges off because of the back plate that I bought doesn't have hinges, so we have to take these off and put them on that one. They will be the same. Okay, so after studying this back plate quite a bit, I realized that the harness wire is going to go on the back plate. On the touch screen, the harness was on the bezel instead of the back plate. I'm just slowly working my way around. I'm slowly putting the harness inside the little small nicks there on the side so it'll stay put. I'm applying a little bit of black tape just to hold everything in place. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. I'm going to give you a close-up here of what I've done. So I just put a little tape here so that this doesn't pop up. So you're just going to course it through these little niches here so that it'll stay in place. And you can put little pieces of tape here just so it doesn't pop up when you're putting the bezel back on. I coursed it all the way up here. When I got to the point where that plug needs to plug into the touch screen chip, there's a little divot here that it fit into, so I was able to push it into that little divot and tape it, so it's fine. Just try not to put it in front of anything that the front bezel is going to connect to, which is the top part here. Just make sure you don't put any tape on the top part here where the front bezel connects to. So you can tape that down, make sure it's out of the way, and then you can continue to put it in here. The camera's going to work just fine, except it's going to be glued to the back plate instead of the front bezel. Nothing is going to be connected to the front bezel. Reasons being is that if you break your LCD screen and you need to replace it again, that front bezel is just going to come right off and doesn't have anything attached to it. So you can just replace it really quick. You're going to have to put some adhesive behind the camera instead of on the front and adhese it to the back plate. I noticed that the cord is a little bit longer here, so I just bunched it up right here. And I'm going to put some tape and we're going to be good to go. Now I got my glue gun here. I'm going to use little dabs of glue to glue this camera back onto the back plate. Try not to use too much hot glue. If you're using hot glue, you can use super glue, you can use epoxy. I have epoxy, but I just hate the way it smells, so I'm just not going to deal with it right now. Dabbing's not working. Fuck it, I'm going in. Huzzah! There we go. Get off me. Okay, so there we go. So all that is done. So now we just got to put the LCD screen in here, put the bezel on here, and we're good to go. Okay, so after you put everything on, this is what it should look like. I've already put my 4 screws in on the LCD. The LCD is hooked up down here at the bottom. If you don't know how to hook that up, you can go watch my other video and I show how to unplug that and plug it back in. I have my wire nicely up here. I glued my camera in this place, so everything is where it's supposed to be. It's my Wi-Fi cable, so let's go ahead and put the bezel on and see how it fits. Alright, so after all that wrestling trying to snap that back in place, I was having a little bit of difficulties up here, but I finally got it. So I'm going to go ahead and slap this back on the system, and hopefully everything goes great. After hassling with all that stuff, getting this bezel on is not as easy as I thought it was. But I finally got it on there, put it back on the system, and everything fit perfectly. So it's awesome. The camera's working, as you can see. I have the camera on Skype, and it's working amazingly. There's even also a little indicator light here that tells me when it's on, and I didn't even know it was there. So yeah, that's awesome. So everything worked out great. So yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helped you in any way possible. If you were looking to just change from a touchscreen to a regular non-touch LCD so you can get that matte finish look, this is how you do it. If that's what you're doing, then you want to go watch my other video and then continue to this one. Yeah, so everything worked out great. I'm actually really liking this setup better. The matte screen is just, I don't know, it's easier to look at than the glare. And plus I got a window like right here, so the glossy doesn't work for me. So, alright, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.